Hello again, everyone. Gibello here. You know, I'm just so simply fucking tired of this game. For a few months now, I've just been reflecting upon my entire past regarding Tower Heroes, and the more I thought about it, the more I realized how this game is just completely hopeless. Really. I tried to make change happen, even if it made me act a lot like an asshole, more than I'd like to admit, and also ended up with a certain incident down the way that was, to some extent, deserved on my end. This all was a year and a half ago now, and even after all this, I still persisted. I completely refused to let this go, to completely give up. I wanted to see this game completely improve with its gameplay that is currently utterly bare bones, to say the least. Imbalancing, general development, literally everything. You know the drill by now. At first, I thought. At first, I expected to be like one of the few people with this kind of thinking, this kind of mindset. I don't know, but I realized after my ban there have been more and more people in the Discord, which I'm not going to name for privacy reasons, that are trying their best to suggest changes for the game for the better as a community. You know, something you should do. You should criticize something because because if your outcome is positive, negativity is good. Like, use it to receive a positive outcome in the end. You know. Anyways, despite all of that, really nothing is changing. The game feels like it's stuck at a point where they are too afraid to experiment with things that are ultimate quote-unquote priority, if you know what I mean. Basically, I mean more like the balancing side of the game has been practically dead for more than a year, 2 years, yeah. And while yes, they did make a lot of balance changes, like make a cake update, they were really just nothing. None of them mattered in the long run. Not even the bigger ones, like with Stella. She's completely broken still. Nothing's changing. Everything's the same. Truth is, unlike some other tower defense games on the platform, this game has been always fairly uncompetitive, like on almost every standpoint. And most of the actual player base doesn't even care whether the game receives balance changes or not, which is why they're not doing it. All they want is a new map, a new event, maybe a new tower, or at least for the past 2 or so years, that's all they've ever done. And they've just lost hope. I don't feel like they're going to experiment with updating the game in any other way. They chose to abandon stuff like ride mode instead of trying to improve it. The only change they've ever tried to do to make it more like how they wanted it to be was a fence limit, and they reverted that a few hours after it was added because everyone said it was a bad idea, and they agreed with that. And afterwards, they just gave up. Also, with adventure mode, soon after its addition, it stopped receiving any update at all. They say they didn't like how it turned out, but despite that, it was barely even developed. I don't understand that. I just don't. Even with battle mode, it's practically abandoned too. The final nail in the coffin was Battle Mimic. Nobody plays the mod anymore, and those who actually play it do it for the Mimic. So they don't even do PvP in the PvP game mode. That's funny, right? Yeah, but it's also kind of sad. Anyways, speaking of which, my main point is that the absolute culmination of what I think is the worst the game has to offer, this big feature of the game that I will define as extremely scammy, anti-gameplay, and such an artificial way to up replayability. For those sweet player counts, premium payouts, you know the stuff. Obviously, I'm talking about mimics, by the way, yeah. You already read the title, so I should probably elaborate on how the fuck I have the mimic chassis and why I'm blinking them. Alright, so, to begin, I've been sent them upon my own request by a certain person that already data mined them a few months before. And they go by the alias of Tasteful Tesseract. Tasteful Tesseract is a known Towers exploiter with an entire YouTube channel and also a few videos uploaded showcasing things like unobtainable developer early skins and also like towers they gained access through by a sort of cheat that allows you to open the game's code and run your own commands while in-game. So basically, he used this to go through the game's maps folder and found the exact numbers that equal to the chances for any special mimic corresponding to any map. I have not obtained these numbers myself. In fact, I have completely honest with this. I have zero fucking idea how any of that works for the most part. However, I can indeed confirm the authenticity of the chances I've been given. Now, here comes the big one. Why am I leaking them? I mean, first of all, I repeat, I have absolutely nothing to lose, and I know they really do not like it when things that are not supposed to be leaked are indeed leaked, and that it mostly ends with the leaker being permanently banned from the game, if it's something major enough. And you might think that resulting in a ban will be absolutely fucking insane to do over leaking a few numbers, or treating this as such a big thing will be fucking stupid. I will agree with that. But the thing is, this, I repeat, were not obtained in the best way possible, the most genuine way possible. And these chances were also intentionally gatekept, out of fear of people's reaction to knowing the exact numbers. Also, I am over level 250 in this game, and I've played it for an estimated time of, over 3,000 hours. That being said, I don't give a shit anymore. Like, really, literally, here's my Roblox username and my user ID. Do whatever you want with it. Ban me if you dare. I know you're watching this. Even counting all of that, I barely play this game anymore. For reference, I haven't even beaten the revamped Volcano Valley Leonardo mode, which is really funny. I've just lost every single bit of hope I got left for this game to actually improve and listen, and it's just not going to happen. So I kinda just stopped playing. It's different from growing out of a game you used to like. This is like watching a game you've dedicated such a huge chunk of your time towards out of passion and genuine enjoyment, slowly but surely rejecting all community feedback and fading into a constant cycle of new people discovering the game and quitting soon after. It's basically it just repeats. Everything just repeats. It's all the same. And that is also one of the reasons why mimics exist. They are the absolute last resort to keep those players playing. Doing the same map, on the same mode, on the same difficulty, with the exact same strategy over and over and over and over, enough for you to finally obtain that skin you desperately want. You have no idea how rare that chance is. You have no idea how much you're going to play until you get it. After throwing dozens, if not hundreds of matches down the drain, you still have no idea if you're ever going to get the skin or not. It's just nothing but one word, scammy. It's just scammy. In my opinion, being at least aware of how rare the mimics you're looking for will make it far more bearable. You'll become more aware that you're just doing it at your own cost, and that you're most likely not going to take a short time. When Plastic Rage first released all the way back in 2021, I was one of the very first people to obtain the Plastic Mimic. It was the first truly exclusive special mimic, so it was pretty much a new concept. But even then, fucking 13-year-old me saw it just as a bad way to add artificial replayability and to gain more playtime out of those who like it to collect things or whatever. And as my final point, think about it. Doing this is really fucking funny, like, I'm not gonna lie. I'm literally Oppenheimer right now. That's crazy, That's just really funny. So, with all of that out of the way, here are the chances. Note that the business mimic might be one of the two chances listed, but it's more likely to be the first, and the second was probably just the original chance that they changed it a few months after adding the mimic. Oh yeah, by the way, Tasteful Tesseract was not able to find the actual chances for any of the mimics that were not exclusive to specific maps. So, more specifically, Battle Mimic, Christmas Mimic, and Mimic Bot. However, we can still estimate those. We know that MimicBot has a chance of at least 1 in 10,000, but it might be even higher because it's really stupid. Christmas Mimic, on the other hand, is most likely fairly common, being only significantly rarer than a regular Mimic. And finally, I have absolutely no estimate for Battle Mimic, but I'm going to assume its chances are some of the most common compared to other map mimics, considering you not only have to play Battle Mode for it, which is much slower, but you also have to obtain it twice, you know. And as you can see, these chances are all absolutely horrendous. Even a singular Mimic could take you like dozens upon dozens of hours with below average luck. And I fucking hate it. I hate it so much. I honestly wouldn't even be surprised if after this video is released, the chances will just be changed again to continue gatekeeping them. Because they don't want you to know. Just know the ones I'm showing right now are 100% real, they are not a lie. I was given this. Also, note that them changing the chances will just make them look even worse. I think this goes without saying, but I take full responsibility for what I'm doing, and no one else I'm associated with, if you know what I mean, should be put to blame. And trust me when I say this, none of them are a part of this. It's only me, and not even tasteful. That's about it. If you skip straight to the chances, you're lame and missing the point. I'm trying to spread a message, and if it will have consequences on me, then so be it. Oh, and if you want to ask me anything related or unrelated to this at all, feel free to DM me on Discord, I don't mind at all. Yeah, whatever. And finally, I know I've said this for like 4 videos now, but this might actually be the last one I ever do, regarding Tower Heroes at least. As always, have a good day.